Okay, well, welcome everybody to this special meeting of the Troy Board of Aldermen. It is 5:30. We do have a quorum present. I would like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you all for being here tonight. The purpose of this special meeting is to conduct a hearing regarding the revocation of the business license of Garden of Weeden located at number 4 Lincoln Center. This hearing will be conducted by the city attorney, Brian Sinclair. He will ask the questions. I would ask the board that they listen carefully. You're going to serve as, during the hearing, you'll be the jury, listen to all the information, take notes. After the hearing is concluded, your action time will be then. After there's a motion made, you may debate or ask for clarification on any item that was discussed during the hearing. If you don't have any questions, I will turn. I will turn the floor over to Brian Sinclair.
Thank you, Mayor. We would call Detective Tyler Schmig as a witness. Sir, would you state your full name for the record and spell your last name?
Oh, sorry, sir. Would you like me to swear him in as the mayor?
Yes, if you could swear him in, that would be great.
Okay, sir. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yep. Sir, would you state your full name for the record and spell your last name?
Detective Tyler Schmig, last name is S-C-H-M-I-E-G.
Where do you work, sir?
City of Troy Police Department,
How long have you worked there?
7 years, February 1st.
And what is your position?
I'm a detective.
Are you familiar with Garden of Weeden?
I am.
And how are you familiar with that?
Through an investigation that recently started towards the end of November.
Can you tell the board a little bit about what Garden of Weeden is?
Well, it's a business that opened in July. Advertises as a dispensary here in town. They sell products pertaining to marijuana. Certain things on their door refer to like marijuana flower, things like that. I did a couple product buys where I went in the store and bought it myself in plain clothes, and those items were sent to a lab.
So how many controlled buys did you actually do for this particular situation?
2.
And those were on 2 separate days?
Yes, sir.
The original day, do you know roughly when that was?
I believe December 15th.
Okay. And when you did that, can you tell the board a little bit about what a controlled buy, how that looks?
Well, it's not like a street level controlled buy, so it's not saying this is very different. These folks that run this business are professional. They run a normal business like you would go into any business anytime. So it's a little different. There's not as many undercover operation planning and all that. There's not a whole lot of that with this particular scenario or incident. But just walked into the store, had a story of my own, talked to the staff. I believe I talked to the owner, and had some questions. He educated me on some of the product that they have and what it can do, what it doesn't do, and I chose the product. Purchased it with controlled buy money that the city of Troy provides, and then from there we took it to a private lab.
So the first one you sent to a private lab. What was the reason why you sent it to a private lab?
So as it stands right now, unfortunately, with the laws that have been lax on marijuana and legalizing it, both medicinal and recreational, the state lab that we use does not test the chemistry makeup of marijuana. They don't do that. So when I get a test result back from them, it's just yes or no, that it's positive or negative for cannabinoid, for marijuana, for THC.
Right. So just positive or negative, no percentage?
No, sir. Yeah, that's all they give me.
And the private lab, the result that you received gave you a percentage, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm going to show you what we marked as Exhibit 2. Can you tell me what that is?
That is the front door of the Garden of Weeden.
And on that door, you had described earlier what was on that door. Can you just sort of point out some things to the board?
They only carry the highest quality cannabis flower and products.
Is there also a reference to being a legal dispensary?
And a big sticker with the state of Missouri says 100% cannabis, legal dispensary.
And have you since gone to the process of figuring out whether or not they are a licensed dispensary?
I have.
And what is the answer to that?
With the help of the city clerk, we contacted DHSS, spoke to a lady named Courtney who handles these things, handles licensing, and was able to, and it was done twice. Once early on in the investigation and once on the day of, we made sure we did it again to make sure they hadn't retained a license before we did the search warrant. That way it wasn't an unlawful search warrant. But she provided us information that not only do they not have a license, they have never applied for one.
Okay, fair enough. Sir, I'm going to show you what's marked as Exhibit 3. Can you take a look at those documents and tell me what those are?
So this is the product that I purchased that I dropped off at the private lab. We got these results within 24 hours of dropping off.
What is the lab?
Cloud 10, it's in Fenton.
Okay. And those lab reports are actually more specific than the lab reports from the state, I think you told me.
Yes, sir. These are itemized down with like percentage of THC levels and different chemical levels that are in the product.
Do you know what percentage that you need to be at to be required to be a legal dispensary if you're selling it?
0.3.
0.3?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you tell us what's on those lab reports?
The THCA is 16.3 and the Delta 9 THC is 2.5.
Okay. So well over the 0.3.
Yes, sir.
Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir. Once I got that back, that's when I applied for my search warrant.
Okay. And so you, in fact, did a search warrant?
Yeah, so I did, this lab report was done first with that buy. The second buy, I sent that one to the state for testing as a second opinion. And then once I had that result, then I applied for my search warrant through Lincoln County.
And sir, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 4. What is that?
That is the State Highway Patrol Crime Lab. This is the certified report.
And in this particular case, what does it actually say on that document?
The plant material weighing 6.91 or 0.05 grams is part of the plant of genus cannabis.
Okay. So it's indicating that it was positive for THC. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you indicated that you did execute a search warrant. When was that?
Last Friday on the 9th.
Okay. And during that search warrant, did you find anything that you would believe would be relevant to today's proceedings?
Yes, we did. We seized lots of evidence there.
Okay. And at this point, because it happened on Friday, you don't quite know what's going to happen in regard to all of that evidence. Is that fair to say?
No, sir. We're still working with the prosecutor's office on what's next. But approximately 33 pounds was seized.
Of 33 pounds of?
Of suspected marijuana.
Okay. And when you say prosecutor's office, you're talking about the Lincoln County prosecutor's
Yes, sir.
office. I don't have any other questions. I think at this time it would be appropriate if you have questions, this would be a time for you to ask.
The only thing I would like to rebuttal on what you said
This is not a time to argue, so if you had questions of the witness, you could ask that.
No.
No questions?
I mean, the only thing that I would say is how was the product handled as soon as you took it away from us? Where was it stored? How long did you store it? What was the temperature? Who else's hands did it go into from the time that you took it from yourself and you sent it to the lab? How was it handled? How was it stored? And how was it tested? Do you know that it was tested through GC, or was it tested HPLC?
One question at a time.
Sorry.
You can answer them, please.
So, do you know how it was tested?
I do not. I'm not
Okay,
certain.
so you don't know if it was tested through the GC basis, which we all know heats up the hemp and then automatically converts it into THC, automatically creating a false positive. So if it was tested the wrong way, then we're gonna get a false positive. And you can do that with any product that's gone in any single store. Because if it's tested that way, which is state typically where you guys send it, that's what's always gonna happen. But if you test it as HPLC,
Sir, questions.
sorry.
Questions. You're not testifying.
Okay, all right, my apologies, I'm sorry.
okay.
All right, so you don't know how it was tested?
I have a short answer for you if you want.
Sure.
I don't know those answers as far as what they used to test it. The answer, and kind of shine some light on it, the reason that particular lab was chosen, it was recommended by the state, I believe. Am I wrong on that? Carla made the phone call, she's our city clerk.
Okay,
The state recommended we take it there. This particular lab is a business that provides quality and control for dispensaries in the state. This is a place that is a reputable business that does that. I do not know the process. I did not see their lab. I didn't even make it past the lobby. But I would assume with their reputation and what they do for their line of work, I would hope that they're testing it properly. So that's the best answer I can give you.
okay, and my next question would be, after you purchased the product from us, what was the chain of events that took place when you purchased the product after that and you walked out the door with our product from Garden of Whedon?
I left there, came back to my police department headquarters here, got the address, and went straight to Fenton and dropped that off.
How long did that take?
We're talking 2 hours?
And so in that time it was in your pocket,
Oh, no, I didn't keep it in my pocket. It was in my car.
it's safe to say that it was you had your heat on, correct? It was safe to say you had your heat on in your car?
Yes, sir.
Which could probably be around 80 degrees
Yeah, give or take. It was snowing that day.
because it was cold,
Yeah.
which could convert it over more, a little bit to the THC side before you had to
I
test it,
can't
correct?
attest to that because I'm not a scientist.
But the heat was on in your car, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which could possibly convert it
To
over.
the best of my knowledge, the heat was on in my car. It was a while ago. But I
And you
would
said it was in
assume
your
would've
vehicle?
been
It was inside of your vehicle for at least 2 hours?
in the bag, yes.
And how long was your heat on in your vehicle with the transition?
I can't give you that answer. I mean, drive time to Fenton.
Can you give me an
Control.
idea from point A to
An
point B?
hour.
About an hour?
Yeah.
So we had you in the vehicle, and where was it stored inside your vehicle again?
Oh, it's set right there, right there in front, in the coaster.
Right there in the
Center console
coaster?
area.
And then when you got your front heat blasting, and then you got about an hour drive.
Well, I don't use my front heat.
Okay.
I use the floor heat.
So regardless, in general, you had about an hour drive, the evidence was in your cup holder, and then you had the heat on for roughly about an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know, thank you. Is there any other questions you may have?
And I just want to make sure, I would like to know exactly how it was tested, because I feel that we should get it done.
Is there any way we can get that form, we can look at that lab report, because I'm very good at looking at lab reports. I know any evidence that's presented, I should be able to see that as well. Thank you, this will just take a second. May I get, can I keep this on the record for myself, or does this belong to you guys over there?
You want a copy of it?
Yes, please.
I don't have a copy to give you right now, but I can give you one afterwards.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions for the witness?
No,
No? Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We would call the city clerk.
you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self you got?
I do.
Thank you.
Ma'am, would you state your full name for the record and spell your last name?
Carla Ayala, Ayala.
And where do you work, ma'am?
City of Troy.
How long have you worked there?
Year and a half.
And what is your job?
City clerk.
And in your duties as city clerk, have you come in contact with a garden of weed?
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about how that has come to your attention?
They applied for a business license.
Do you know when that was?
July of 2025, I believe.
Close.
No, the end of June. June 24th, 2025.
And on that application, who do they say the owner is?
The owner is James M. Smith and Thomas P. Smith.
And is it your understanding that those are the people that are here seated across from me?
I believe so.
Okay. And when they submitted the business application, what does it indicate they were going to be selling?
It says that it's hemp flower.
Okay.
And, yeah,
And so no indication of marijuana, is that fair?
that's fair.
And I believe there's a second page of the document that you're looking at. Is that some emails?
No, this is, let's see.
Are there
Yes.
emails included?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can you tell me what those emails are?
These emails are between Dave Lindsay, the building official, and James Smith, sorry. And they were talking about the sign permit, but then other questions were asked.
What other questions were asked?
There was a question asked if they're a dispensary or sell other types of products, and if so, which ones. This is asked because you are located in a C3 zone, which states that medical marijuana facilities, and it quotes the state statute.
And what was the answer to the question?
No, sir, I only sell CBD and natural hemp products, no marijuana at all, only CBD hemp.
Okay. Do you believe as city clerk that there's a misrepresentation going on in regard to this application?
Yes.
Can you tell us the short version of what the misrepresentation is?
They applied for a business to sell hemp products, not marijuana.
And based on the investigation done by the Troy Police Department, you believe they are selling marijuana?
Yes, I do.
I think that is all I have. If you want to ask questions.
No, she's pretty concrete with everything. No, you're okay there. Thank you so much.
Good?
Yeah.
I think that's all the evidence we have. There's no other evidence from our side.
Do you have any witnesses regarding this that you would like to call?
This is Nathan right here. He's one of the board members for the Hemp Trade Association. I'm not a board member. Sorry, board member.
Okay, will you be sworn in, please?
But do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self you got?
Yes, sir.
And can I have you state and spell your name for me, please?
Yes, sir. It's Nathan Simpson, Simpson.
Thank you. Go ahead and ask your question.
No, I'd like you to go ahead and,
Well, I have a testimony, so this is the part where we ask questions.
Yeah, this would be your time to ask specific questions of him regarding this. The evidence.
what is the reason why I reached out to you?
James reached out to me for help with this situation. I'm an active member in the Missouri Hemp Trade Association as well as at the Capitol to legislate proper regulations for these products.
So what was my concern when I called you? What was my concern when I reached out to you personally as far as with everything the way it was going down?
Well, James, we've had several conversations since, so can you be a little more specific?
Well, just like when I first told you that I had been raided unlawfully you know, I was looking for you because I know you have a background in this. So I was looking for you as your expertise. So that's basically what I was reaching out to you for. I mean, because this, again, is all new to me. Because under my assumption, I was never doing anything wrong.
Reason you reached out, we asked you out for, could you explain the differences and how THCA could convert over to THC?
Yes, is that okay if I explain the scientific background of the cannabis plant?
Can you give us some idea of what your background is that would?
I have a decade in this industry. I've been advocating for it since its infancy when it was an Obama pilot program. I got into this industry in 2016.
Are you a scientist?
I'm not a scientist.
Okay. Okay, with that in mind, I think it's okay for him to answer.
Okay.
Proceed.
So hemp is defined by federal law and Missouri state law, HB 2034, as cannabis sativa that is less than 0.3% of Delta-9 by its dry weight basis. I've been around in these municipalities before that have run into this same situation, and it always comes back to the testing process. Every single time heat is applied during the testing process, which is not in compliance with HB 2034 or how you detect the actual levels of Delta-9 THC. Cannabinoids are also incredibly fragile. So sitting in the light, sitting in the heat, opened, unopened, they break down over time. So because there's no regulatory body in Missouri for the sales of hemp products, it's kind of an industry standard that we only use those products for up to 1 year. So once hemp is certified with the COA that James has as under 0.3% Delta-9, we have 1 year from that time. Now, and that's all self-regulated because there are no regulations here in Missouri. We do hope to change that this session, but please understand that they're incredibly fragile. And there's two different ways to test. There's post-decarboxylation testing, which is going to show higher THC levels. There's the GC style that James was speaking of, that is going to preserve that Delta-9 level, so we can get an accurate reading. So the way it's tested is a major factor in this situation.
And I got another question. The undercover gentleman who had purchased our product. Now, would you believe just by him purchasing that product and it taking him an hour to make that drive in his vehicle under that kind of heat in the side of his vehicle, that it would do a transition to where it would go ahead and then be 0.3 and make it to be hit higher in the THC content?
Of course, anything over 70 degrees can affect the cannabinoids themselves.
And in your opinion, wouldn't it be the best room temperature and any store temperature to be 69 degrees or under inside of your dispensary?
I agree with that.
So that way you don't do the transition from THCA into THC, correct?
That's correct.
So at 80 degrees, just say 72 degrees in his car, in 1 hour drive, with that in his vehicle, you would lead that to believe that that would do the transition from 0.3% to a higher THC level, making it a false positive.
It very well could, yes.
Okay, thank you. And as far as that, I mean, we're good as far as the questions go there. If you would like them.
We're going to keep it to questions, please.
Yes.
If you don't have any more questions?
No, that's it, sir.
Sir, where are your sources for what you're referencing? Like, how do you know?
As far as what information?
The information that you just gave us, everything you just...
That's general scientific consensus. I mean, it's very easily found on Google.
Okay, so Google is where you found it?
No, I'm saying that there's tons of support backing my claim on Google from actual scientists.
Okay. And you testified the temperature as low as 72 degrees. Is that what you just testified to?
I believe I said 70 degrees.
70 degrees, okay. So room temperature.
Yes, sir.
And we're talking about it going from a percentage of being under 0.3 to being somewhere in the neighborhood of, what, 16, 17%?
I believe, I didn't get to see the COA, but I believe the COA says something different.
Yes.
What does it say?
So it says 16.877. But when it was...
Sir, may I?
Yes.
Yeah. But when it was tested, from what the officer said, it was at a level from 0.3, then it reached to a level of 2.5.
Yes. So this COA is showing the Delta-9 THC level at 2.5.
There you go.
All right. I don't have any other questions.
sir.
Real, no, that's fine. Thank you.
Did everybody see the exhibits that needed to see the exhibits? Yeah, I know you missed one.
I just don't want to.
The last one.
That one, yes.
James, the original COA for that?
The original COA for that, I have every COA right here that's ever been purchased from my store, in alphabetical order.
What was that one?
That's when they got tested themselves. That was candy fumes and lemon seed, I have those, right here, right now.
Okay, no further witnesses on either side? Would you like to, any other comment you'd like to make? Yes.
Well, I would just like to hand this evidence out to each one of the board members, so you guys each have a copy yourself.
Certainly.
Is that okay, may I do that now?
Absolutely, sure.
So what this is going to show and demonstrate is exactly how lab testing works. It comes down to the difference between THC and THCA. Also, this article by Rob Kite, he's the one who's basically broke the whole entire law on THCA and THC, shows you the miscommunication between THC and THCA, especially with the Missouri Attorney General. Okay, so this belongs to you, sir. So, ma'am, you're very welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Ma'am. Try
You're good, thank you.
it. Sir,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Yes.
Can I clarify, is this an email to yourself?
Yes, I emailed it to myself, just so I don't forget. I mean, I'm sure I will use it.
So what the typed, is that something that you typed yourself?
No, I did not type this myself.
Okay. Can you clarify like this, what is it? Where did it come from?
This right here,
Yeah.
this whole entire source came from Gemini,
Okay.
okay, which is a very, very credible source.
Okay. We don't have any further testimony or witnesses to be called. I would say we'll conclude the hearing portion of this meeting. Oh,
One thing I would want to present in evidence, I'm trying to find the other COA right now. This COA is what I got from a credible lab and from Lenny Farms, which is a very, very high-end credible farm. And this is what I'm trying to argue the case. This lab result was done and reported on 4/3 of 2025. So by law, this lab is credible for 1 year. So once it's tested as a hemp, it is hemp for 1 year with this COA right here. So that COA that he has, this is a challenge, his lemon seed. And this is stating that mine is at the levels of, where are we at? Give me 1 second here, bear with me. 0.2990%. That's where we are at. And then you're sitting at 2.990 milligrams. So this right here is stating that it's THCA, that it is not THC. And this again is valid for 1 year. So I'm trying to look for the candy fumes that you guys have in evidence right now because I have everything in alphabetical order. But I can always pull it up on my phone and just get it from Liddy Farms because they have all their COAs on hand on their website at all times with Incredible Labs. And that's LITTY. And that's one of my major distributors. And again, this is what they do. So, yes, if you go ahead and take a look at that, you can compare that to the other one. So now you see it right here. As you see the THC levels, that's the levels over there. The D9 levels are going to be right here. So that's showing you that it's under the 0.3%. And that's when it was tested on 4/3/2025. Distributor is Liddy Brands. That's showing that everything is 100% federally compliant with the 2018 Farm Bill Act. saying as well. This is Lady Farms. This is what arrives in every one of my packages that I receive. It's a simple QR code. What's it say right there? Lab results. It said that you take the phone and you scan it, and automatically pulls up every single report that they have on their product that they offer, between concentrates, between flours, between edibles, all that. And right here, it's a simple scan. That's how easy and transparent it is. Okay, nothing misleading. So I can go ahead and simply scan this on my phone now. And boom, it just pops up that easy. And now, certificate of analysis. And it shows you everything that they have right here on their site, and it is as credible as it can be. You're all right. And that goes through everything. That goes from their liquid pens to their THCA flour, to their 5 gram pens, their 1 gram pens, to their pre-rolls, all the above A through Z. This also states, and this is delivered in every single package that we receive, this package does not contain marijuana. This package contains federally legal hemp-based products. On December 20, 2018, the President signed the Agriculture Improvement Act 2018, the Farm Bill to law. The Farm Bill specifically permits the interstate commerce and transportation of hemp and hemp-based products. So this proves right here, so that law enforcement opens it, they cannot seize it because it's not marijuana. If they have a problem with it, they can reach out to them. And that right there shows that that is not marijuana, it is hemp. We purchased it as hemp.
So can we clarify the lab report that you're looking at? Are you trying to say that that's the stuff that was submitted to the lab?
Yes, correct.
Exactly the same?
100%, that's it right there.
Do you think that particular one?
Yeah,
How do we know?
I have all the invoices right here. Every single invoice that was purchased within the last.
But how are you tracking that from the lab report to that?
Because he said that's the strain, because that's the strain, and I trust my credible source.
And you're saying specifically what you're pulling out is exactly
100%, without a doubt. I run a business, and this is what I do. 100%, that's it.
How is it stored before it's delivered?
What do you mean, how is it stored before it's delivered? That's a question that you're gonna have to ask them. Not us. That's not my expertise. I receive the package, and when I receive it, it's in a ventilated bubble wrap, which is a chrome bubble wrap.
You're going off of what's being sent to you. Is that what you're saying?
We can only go off of I can only go off of what I purchased by what is told to me from Lady Farms.
So if it's wrong, then you don't know.
Well, it can't be wrong because they gave me the COA. That's a credible source.
Based one person.
No, I got it. Any product that comes through my store and I receive the COA, I get on the phone and I contact the lab and I give them the lab and the batch ID number. And if it doesn't match up, I toss that product. It gets out of my shop immediately. It will not hit my shelves. So as long as it's a credible lab and they say, oh, Lady Farms, yes, we love Lady Farms. That's how they talk about Lady Farms. And you never have an issue with them. That's exactly what they say. You can call them right now and they'll vouch for them. But that's the first thing that happens. The second my product comes in, I call the lab. I make sure that the batch ID number matches up with the COA, and if it doesn't, then it gets tossed. Because there is a lot of counterfeits out there, and there's a lot of bad actors, but I'm not one of them. I'm a very good man, and I'm a very good person. My reputation is being shot right now. It's unacceptable, and it's nobody's fault. It's just you guys are doing your job, and everyone's doing their job. But this is my life. This is everything that I've built. It's being ripped out from me right now. But again, everything that I have, this is every single invoice that was purchased in the last 2 months. Everything from A to Z. Every COA is fully documented and laminated. We are very professional.
Can you explain why it says legal dispensary?
Because we're not a licensed dispensary. We are a legal dispensary. So there by law and terminology, we are allowed to say we're a legal dispensary. We cannot say we're licensed. If we said we were licensed, then we would get in trouble. But if you go to a candy store, they could say candy dispensary, can they? We could say legal dispensary because we are a legal dispensary. We are not a licensed dispensary. We are not licensed through the state, but we are legal. Is that fair?
I don't need to answer questions.
Okay, I'm just saying, we are a legal dispensary though. There's a lot of legal dispensaries out here in the state of Missouri. There's not a lot of licensed dispensaries. Well, we are legal and we abide by the law and we respect the law and we respect Troy.
And it gives the little guy a chance to be out, so he makes some good money.
Yes, it gives us an opportunity to be able to build something for our family. Well, I will read my paper when it's time to do a testimony. I would like to read, if I would like to step up and read this if I could, please. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you step up, I'd like for you to be sworn in.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And then if the city attorney has any questions for you, remain up there.
Sure.
Answer those questions.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir. All right, is this thing on? Testing. All right.
State your name.
My name is James Michael Smith, 42 years old. Good evening, everyone. My name is James Smith. I am one of the proud owners of Garden of Weeden, located at 4 Lincoln Center. When I first opened the doors to this dispensary, I didn't just see it as a business venture. I saw it as a way to build a legacy for my family and an investment within the community of Troy. I am a father of 3 wonderful children. Sorry, with another blessing on the way. I have a decision to make every day. Every day is driven by the need to provide for them and to show them what it looks like to build something with integrity and heart. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this. My dedication is to this industry. It is rooted in professionalism and safety. There's a lot of noise in the THCA world, but here we keep it simple. If it isn't lab tested, it does not hit my shelves. It will not. I take immense pride in the fact that I have never and will never ever purchase products from the black market. Since day one, I've operated strictly within the guidelines of 2018 Farm Bill. I believe my customers deserve the peace of mind that comes exactly with what they know that they're putting inside their body. Lately, it feels like the corporate world is constantly attacking businesses like mine. What they don't understand is my commitment to the people of Troy. My goal is to provide the highest quality products at a price that everyone can afford, that they don't get pushed down around, that they don't get strong-armed by big corporations. In our shop, we look at the Troy people as neighbors, as a friend. The big corporate companies focus on profit margins. I am focused on the most rewarding part of the journey, the people. My success hasn't just been the growth of my shop, but the connections I've made and the many incredible people I have met along the way. I have and I am deeply thankful for the continued support I work to provide for my growing family. This business is my life's work. I promise to continue providing a professional and transparent and safe environment for as long as these doors remain open. The Garden of Weeden maintains a strict policy to ensure the safety and, the most importantly, the legality of all products provided to the city of Troy. I want to be clear to the Troy people. No product enters our inventory without a credible COA. And it must be issued by a credible laboratory, and it must be verified that all the products meet all the state and federal and standards, including potency, purity, and the absence of contaminants. If a distributor cannot provide verifiable documentation, or if the COA does not meet the rigorous standards, it cannot be and will not be purchased and will not go on my shelves. Our commitment to the city of Troy is built on full transparency. We do not cut corners here, as we believe the residents of Troy deserve products that are vetted with the highest level of scrutiny. In the packet that you received that I showed you all, please refer to the information regarding the law on testing our product. If THC is tested, handled, and stored incorrectly by law enforcement, the outcome will result in high THC results, resulting in a false positive, and I can almost guarantee that's the case. In conclusion, I am asking you, the board members of Troy City Council, to please allow me and my brother Tommy to keep our doors open. We have provided all the documentation that has been asked of us, and that what we needed to do to protect our reputation as a business. I thank you all very much for your time. And I'm sorry I stumbled a lot.
You did fine.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Smith?
I do not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I do not.
He's good.
I'm ready. Stand up, if that's okay. Stand up. Sure.
And you solemnly swear the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir. My name is Thomas Smith. I'm the other owner and the better-looking twin of the two. I stand before you today to correct the misconceptions surrounding our business and the recent actions taken. We operate with a valid business license fully compliant with all relevant Missouri statutes and regulations that permit THCA. The product in question here today is THCA, not marijuana, as substantiated by comprehensive certifications and analysis from third parties. Everything that comes to our shop is 100% tested. We've never put anything on them shelves that we're not. We work too hard to build what we have. We assert that any test results suggesting otherwise are invalid, potentially due to improper storage or handling that could have caused conversion, and we challenge the procedural validity of such testing. We respectfully request that the aldermen of this council consider the totality of the documentation and constitutional protection, ensuring a just and equitable outcome for our business. Just want everybody to be on the same playing field here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes all the testimony.
I have a testimony, Mayor, if that's okay.
You already testified.
I was answering questions, I didn't get to the question testimony.
Right, that's testifying.
Well, I would like to recall him back to the stand so he can give his testimony.
Fine. Go ahead.
Thank you, buddy.
Re-swear.
You're still under, is it, you want to do it again? Or?
He's still under oath.
Still under oath?
Still under, thank you.
Honorable Mayor and members of the Board of Aldermen, thank you for the opportunity to speak today on behalf of the Missouri Hemp Trade Association. My name is Nathan Simpson. The City of Troy's action against Garden and Weeden were unlawful, unsupported by Missouri statute, and reckless in light of its established legal precedent and basic scientific reality. Missouri's controlling hemp law remains House Bill 2034. HB 2034 legalizes hemp and hemp-derived products that meet the federal definition of hemp, including the 0.3% Delta-9 THC limit on a dry weight basis. That law is still in effect. Although we have tried for years, Missouri does not have a comprehensive state regulatory authority overseeing retail hemp sales. That regulatory gap does not give municipalities authority to create their own enforcement regimes through police action. Garden of Weeden operated openly and in good faith under House Bill 2034. Instead of following lawful administrative process, the city has postponed hearings to revoke Garden of Weeden's business license due to lack of evidence. The city raided Garden of Weeden, confiscated their inventory and their cash on hand without specific statutory allegations and without an opportunity to be heard. That raises serious due process concerns. Heat-based or post-decarboxylation testing methods are known to convert cannabinoids into Delta-9 THC, increasing levels during testing that were not present at the point of sale. Testing that alters the product's chemical composition does not measure compliance under House Bill 2034. Cannabinoids are chemically fragile and naturally change over time due to light, heat, and storage. For that reason, industry practice treats certificates of analysis as valid for 1 year. Garden of Weeden follows this standard and goes beyond minimum expectations to ensure lab reports are legitimate and current. Hemp-derived products, including flower products, are sold openly throughout Troy at smoke shops, liquor stores, and gas stations. None of those locations were raided. Instead, the city targeted a single compliant retailer. If these products are unlawful, they're unlawful everywhere. If they are lawful, one business cannot be singled out. Across the country, municipalities have attempted similar enforcement without statutory authority, reliable testing, or due process, and they have faced litigation and financial consequences. House Bill 2034 remains the law. Garden of Weeden acted in good faith. This does not need to become more expensive for the taxpayer. The city should correct course and let Missouri legislators do their job. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Okay, with that, I'm going to conclude the hearing portion of this special meeting. The chair will entertain a motion. The motion would be in the affirmative to revoke the license of Garden of Weeden, the business license City of Troy. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Alderman Dieter has made a motion. Can I get a second, please?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Alderwoman Huffman. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any debate, clarification, or questions? Okay, we've heard all the testimony. I hear no debate from the board. I'd ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Dieter?
No.
Junior?
The suspension, sorry, I probably should have asked that before we voted. Is suspending it not an option versus revoking it?
The motion on the floor is for revocation.
I had that same question, and I probably should have said it before the motion was heard, but I have the same question as Alderman Dooner.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the floor. We've already started the roll call vote. So we'll have to deal with the motion on the floor first.
And to clarify, revoke versus suspension, you can always give it back as well. So that, I mean, revoking it is comparable to suspending it in the sense that you can return it if it becomes appropriate. Does that make sense?
What's the difference, I guess, versus suspension and revocation?
There's not. There's not a suspension option. That's what we're trying to give them that option. If that's what they're
Suspension would assume that there's going to revisit it.
It's not the same.
Revoking
You
means
can't say
you're
it's the
going
same.
to reapply.
There's no option.
Sorry, yeah.
I don't understand. Wait a minute.
Okay, all right, folks. We have a motion on the floor. The conversation needs to be up here now, okay? We have a court reporter, no speaking from the crowd.
I've got a question on that, since I made the motion. So in other words, what you're saying is, even though we vote yes or no to revoke the license, they can still lose their license because of what?
No, not at all. Sorry.
What's the suspension thing then?
So what I was trying to say is if you revoke a license, you can always also vote eventually to give it back. So essentially you're doing what's
Amounting to a suspension of a kind. I understand it's not.
We're not voting to take the license away.
That is what you're doing, correct.
So if we vote no on this, actually they can go back into business, correct?
Yes.
Because to suspend it or revoke it, either way, would be to remove their license.
Yes.
Now, what has happened in the past, being the oldest, longest alderman on the board, I can remember in 2006, we revoked the license for a place that did the exact same thing. Different topic, different subject, but the same thing. What they did was they applied for a license for a bookstore. Then they opened up, they were granted the license. Let me finish.
I'm not sure that's appropriate to speak to in this particular video.
But you'll see the scenario real quick.
I understand, but there was litigation there. I don't think that's something that, we need to keep this topic to what's at hand, please.
And I'm just trying to explain the history because the city was sued, lost $30,000 because of the way it was worded. Now, you can do what you want, you can say what you want. I've been criticized many a times because I don't know what I'm talking about, but I can guarantee you the similarities are so great that it's unbelievable.
Okay, so regarding the
I just want to know if we vote yes or no on this. If we vote no, they can go back into business tomorrow. Because in all reality, I don't see where we can be the judge or the jury over anything. We're sending a bad precedence to any business that wants to come into this town to think that we can pull their license at any time for any reason.
If y'all don't keep it under control, we'll be asked to leave. This is a debate for the board.
And Alderman, I do want to make sure that, to refresh the board's memory, I don't know the circumstances of 2006, but until 2 months ago, a month ago, we didn't have a legal process to revoke a business license in this city. So I'm sure if you did that in 2006 without a legal process, you probably would have gotten sued, and you did. But we passed that, you passed that process just last month. And so now we have a legal, or maybe a month and a half ago, yeah. We have a legal process to follow, due process, which we're following here today with a court reporter and such, to make sure that the rights of our business owners are protected, that due process is afforded, and that's what we're doing here today. So we're presenting the information. It is your decision to make based on the information provided, but that process is new. That is something that was lacking in our ordinance, and we do now have it. We're following.
I'd like to ask a question. There's an ongoing legal activity as well. Are the doors open or are the doors closed at Garden of Weeden currently?
They're closed. Well, that depends on tonight. Tonight and everyone votes no on revoking. We gotta get in there immediately. I got a 3-year lease there. I just got 2 billboards, and we just put up 2 billboards on 61. So
there's currently an ongoing criminal investigation.
Yeah, but you're innocent until you're proven guilty, and we've done nothing to break the law, sir. We've done not one thing to break the law, and we proved that here today. I brought all my proper documentation and everything, stating fact after fact after fact.
I'm just trying to kind of clarify.
I do understand. I just want to be very clear with everyone that we've done everything in our power and presented everything that's been asked of us. And all we ask is...
We have a motion on the floor. Anybody else have a question or specific item they want clarified?
So if we vote no, they don't reopen. If we vote yes, they do reopen, right?
No, we're voting on the revoking of the license.
No, they've reopened. If we vote yes, they shut them down.
That's correct. The board's decision is whether or not we're going to revoke the license. That was the motion. We have 1 vote.
But they can't open without the license.
That is true.
What keeps, when you said that we could, if we revoked it, they could apply for a new one. Can they do that tomorrow then? Like, what keeps them from doing that?
Well, I mean, I think they could apply tomorrow, but obviously we would have to see if the circumstances have changed.
Yes, I think they, to answer your question, yes, I think they could walk in tomorrow and make an application. I just don't know if necessarily would be granted.
But the key words in what you just said is yes, I think.
Well, yeah.
Think is a contradictory statement to yes or no. You're basically saying yes, I think, no. So it's either yes or no.
That's why I was asking if it could be suspended pending the outcome of the rest of, I mean, because it is in the middle of an investigation, and I don't know what that...
Well, if it's in the middle of an investigation, in my opinion, that's an investigation between the county, the state, and everybody else. If they are buying their product from a company that's, I mean, they're not buying it from Billy Bob and Joe's place up here north of Troy, they're buying it from a reputable place in California, if I'm correct. And all that stuff is tested, all that stuff is regulated. So if it's all regulated, if it comes in higher or lower, they have no way unless they test every product that comes in the door. If they tested every product that come in the door and couldn't depend on the reputation of the dealer that's selling it to them, they couldn't stay in business because there ain't no way to sell that stuff for that. It's cheaper on the street.
Okay.
Can I see their business license one more time?
And can I have I'd like to see the picture of the front door.
I bought my business license with me, which is right here.
We've got a copy.
And not here.
This is a public hearing, so any comments now, was now is a motion on point, need to be made public. Okay, are we ready to vote? Alderwoman Dooner, this thing's been called.
Mr. Mayor, if I would, I did have the answer to a question that was in on the deer. So we did pull up the ordinance that was passed, ordinance 1403 just recently. That does mention that the revocation process obviously removes the business license that the applicant must no longer must cease business. However, I don't see anywhere in here where there is a delay or a prohibition from reapplication in the future. So I would think it's safe to say that if there was a remedy of the issue or the concern that was raised by the revocation, that could be a reapplication, and there's not a 6-month or a year or any other kind of prohibition on reapplication. So that was asked. It's now definitively answered that yes, they could apply once that's been remedied.
Thank you.
Can I say that one more thing real quick since everyone just keeps on talking delaying the vote? I have done everything that's asked of me tonight. I have provided every bit of evidence showing that my name is clear, showing that my business is legal. There's nothing illegal that I'm doing. It's right here, A through Z, every invoice that I purchased. So I don't understand what the problem is.
We understand, yeah.
I know, but it would be illegal for you to revoke my license if I'm doing everything legal.
Testimony time is over, so we're down to the vote.
I have a clarification question, please. So just, James, just as you said, what you just indicated, if the vote is yes to revoke, they can immediately reapply if there's a remedy. Does that go the same way if the vote is no? Because I've done a lot of stuff, COA, 2018 Farm Bill, legal dispensary versus licensed dispensary. I mean, if the vote is no and we get more information, we can bring this back up on the agenda to readdress it based on information.
I don't see any prohibition to this, though the applications and the licensure is handled administratively by the city clerk. So obviously if there was another application, that would be taken internally by staff and then reviewed to make sure that it complies with all the water ordinances and then issued based upon that, or not issued.
With all that being said, let's say for instance, it goes yes, we revoke their license. They can come in tomorrow and apply for another license, correct?
I don't see any prohibition in doing that.
Pardon?
I don't see any prohibition in the ordinance that says they couldn't.
So they could, correct?
Sure.
Now,
Or I can tell.
as far-fetched as it is, and as simple as my mind gets from time to time, what good logic would there be to revoke it tonight and award it tomorrow? Explain that to me in 3rd grade English.
Obviously, the circumstances would have to change. The current circumstances would be deemed by the board to be non-compliant with our ordinances and state laws, and therefore we wouldn't issue based upon that unless there could be something provided to us.
Have we not?
To show that there was some sort of change. For instance, I mean, if the prosecution, the criminal prosecution were to uncover something different, then, you know, maybe there would be a reason to revisit what we have here. Right now, the probable cause statement to the prosecutor, the investigation points towards, what we presented today is not being conforming to state law on the sale of
But with
marijuana. Pardon me?
But with the prosecuting attorney from the county.
Sure.
Isn't that the county's job, not the city's?
For criminal prosecution, this is an administrative action. We govern the licensure of businesses within the city limits.
I'm just kind of curious, if we revoke it tonight, you going to grant it tomorrow?
It'd be no different than a liquor license. We issue liquor licenses, somebody decides to sell liquor to an underage person, you can administratively revoke that liquor license. The county prosecutor doesn't have to prosecute, and vice versa.
And I understand that, but there's this,
So and that's
so far,
happens
there's nothing been brought up about selling anything to an underage person.
Pardon me?
At this point, I don't think there's ever been anything brought up about selling anything to an underage person.
No, I'm explaining to you that we govern the licensure of businesses and the establishment, the licensing of liquor, just as there's also a criminal track for both. We govern the administrative track, which is what we're doing today. Whatever the county prosecutor does, that's his decision whether he chooses to pursue criminal prosecution. In this case, they have. We are following our portion, which is an administrative revocation of a business license within the city limits.
Any other questions?
On here, it says hemp flower is what you sell. Is your stuff labeled as that? It may be on their paper.
Yeah, it's labeled on everything on the label. Yep, it says THCA, and what it converts.
I'm naive to all of this, I'm sorry.
You know, it's okay, but it does. It says full transparency. Again, everything's full transparency. Everything is covered A through Z, THCA, and it shows the active ingredients, which would be THC. So it shows you what it was when it was pulled, the THCA levels, and it shows you what it is when it converts, when he hits it. All the way down to the terpenes and canola. Yes, all the way down to our terpene profile. So, which would be like quinoline, pinene, glycerin, or caryophyllene, and different things like that, where you could be able to help a certain customer if they have nausea or pain and things like that, but it breaks it down. Everything's full transparent. Our products even say hemp on them, literally. So I don't know if you guys took pictures of those, but it literally says hemp, just so you know.
Okay.
Right. You guys don't have
Any other questions from the board? We have a motion and a second. We have one vote on the record. Alderwoman Dune.
Can you read the motion one more time?
The motion was to revoke the business license of Garden of Whedon.
No.
Huffman?
No.
Wallace?
No.
The motion fails.
Thank you all very much.
Please. We're still in the meeting here. All right, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
So made.
Alderwoman Dooner, is it a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Peters. Call the roll, please.
Dooner?
Yes.
Huffman?
Yes.
Wallace?
Yes.
Peters?
Yep.
Motion carries. Thank you all for coming tonight.